live. I'm here with Modestas Bukauskus. Modestas, so lovely to see you again.
So lovely to see you too, Katie.
We have got a massive fight of yours to talk about. You're fighting Khalil Rountree.
Yeah, I know, massive fight. It's mad because obviously I was watching that guy fighting in the Ultimate Fighter when I think I was an amateur maybe or something. Like I can't even remember how long ago it was, but yeah, like I've always thought like I didn't even know if they were like, what weight class I was going to be in, or if I was, if I was ever going to fight these people. But it's definitely a situation where your idols become rivals, because I definitely looked up to that fight for a long time, and now I'm actually going to be stepping across the cage from him. So yeah, it's a crazy experience for sure.
I couldn't believe that you've got more pro fights than him.
Yeah, I know. It's mad. Like I say, I can't remember when it was that I was watching him on the Ultimate Fighter, but I don't know if I just turned pro or. But I mean, to be fair, I've turned pro when I was 21, so I did
Yeah.
start quite early in comparison to Khalil. But yeah, I mean, obviously I've got a little bit of experience on my side, so obviously I'm gonna take that in full swing when I get in the cage.
Yeah, and his fights in the Ultimate Fighter house don't count either,
Mm,
obviously.
mm,
They're
mm, mm.
exhibition fights. So you've got really similar number of fights overall. And he's a bit younger than I thought he was as well.
Yeah. I believe he's 31, maybe 30
Yeah,
to
I
32,
think just
something.
again, because he's been around for a long time, I
Mm,
just
mm, mm,
assumed
mm.
he was a bit older. And I think he talked about retirement maybe a little while ago. And again, it just
Yeah.
made me think he was older. But like, I mean, this is huge. What a big name. You must be buzzing.
No, yeah, no, 100%. And like a lot of people have actually messaged me saying like, "Oh, yeah, you don't like taking easy fights, do you?" And I'm like, "Look, at the end of the day, you got to go out and prove yourself against anyone. Doesn't matter who is in front of the cage across from you." So, yeah, no, like when I was given that name, like obviously it gives you tingles on your skin and everything. You're like, "Oh, here we go!" Like this is a big moment now, and like I say, this is a massive opportunity, for me to go out there, do the business, and then get straight back in the mix. So obviously it's a very important fight for me. But yeah, what better way to do it than against such a great fighter such as Khalil.
Yeah, and I think like that is true. It is a tough fight and you do always take tough fights, but you could get somebody that nobody's heard of that is
Mm.
just as tough or tougher. And that's the way it goes. Like there's lots of people like you in the UFC who are young and hungry and desperate to prove themselves. So, I just think having a big name, obviously there's risk attached to it, but there's that reward as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like it's still measured and calculated steps as well at the same time. Uh, obviously, whenever a name gets put in front of, I mean, it doesn't matter who the name is for me. To be honest with you, it's just about exploiting your skills to the best of your ability. Like I definitely feel I have the skill set overall, like across all areas, to be able to compete with any of those guys. But it's just how are you able to put it all out there in the cage when you actually go out there. Do you know what I mean? It's how you're able to mix things together and put it together almost like painting a picture. You know what I mean? So those are definitely things that I feel like I've added to my game even since the last fight. Yeah, like it doesn't matter who it is. I'm always going to be ready to go out there and put on a performance.
And there must be quite a bit of pressure on this one for you because technically you're coming off two losses. I don't actually believe that. I said that to you at the time, and I think you've had an amazing attitude about the last fight. It was you came off on the wrong end of a split decision,
Yeah.
and it was a very close. I didn't actually think it was that close, to be honest. I thought it was clear, but I think that you've handled it in an amazing way and with a great attitude. What do you take away from that?
Well, and I really appreciate that, by the way. I thank you very much, obviously, for your kind words about that. And I mean, look, everywhere in life, you gotta see what you can take. Like the thing is, over the course of it's a journey for everyone. Everyone has their own like journey within their life, like what they're doing, what their career is, and this and that. And you're gonna have to take some L's. You're gonna have to take some learning curves in order to be able to better yourself. If I was to stay in a like hold a grudge. Oh, these judges and this and that. I wouldn't think to change anything. I wouldn't think to try and improve myself even further. I wouldn't think, oh, where was the things that I was doing that was wrong in that fight, to be able to work on that, so that that particular situation, wouldn't happen again, or for the decision not to be so close. So you have to look at those things in order to develop yourself. And look, I'm out here to try and be a world champion. I'm not just out here just to compete and stuff like that. So these are things that are almost required for you to do in order for you to be able to do that. I can't, like I say, and sit here and be sad and keep doing the same thing, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So, I think it was definitely a fight where I was able to show more of my. I talked to my dad about it as well. It's a fight where I was able to actually show more of my skill set, because I've been talking about that for ages. I've been saying I want to, and the thing is, again, it's not even like the whole package. This is what I'm saying is it's still, when you're in there, it's about bringing everything together and be able to bring out your skill set the best way possible when you go out there. You may be able to do freestyle wrestling or have good jiu-jitsu and good striking, but how you're going to blend it together the best way against your opponents and do it tactically the right way. Those are massive things. Like, it seems like marginal, like small things, but those things matter. Maybe at a lower level, they don't matter so much, because there's clearly a higher skill discrepancy at a lower level. But then when it gets to this level, everyone's good. Everyone's tough. And it's just, some people are just able to put it together better than others. And in that fight, if I'm speaking honestly, I looked at the scorecards, and for the judges to give him the first round really does baffle me. But look, the forward pressure and stuff like that is something that, again, if that's what they see that is an advantage for the other guy, then how are you going to stop that? How are we going to stop that next time? So these are things that I've taken away. You've got to take it all as learning lessons. You've got to try and strive to be better than you were before. And I definitely feel I'm doing that. That's the only way you can progress with anything in life, not just fighting for me, but anywhere, like in relationships, in just in confidence as well. Like I've had so many situations that has built my confidence, even just as a person, which I really had to put myself through some crazy situations in order for me to get like that. I mean, not many people would even. I know Take Me Out. It's sort of like a small time show in the UK, but
It's not
even
small.
even
Prime time.
even to do stuff like that, you got to have a certain level of insanity about you, and like I say, to have the confidence even to be able to go and do that. That's why I respect everyone who's been on that show, and any other show there is for that matter. Like, to be able to put yourself out there like that, it takes a lot. And like I say, these are lessons that you learn, and you just got to learn to. I've talked about it many times about embracing the madness and embracing the pressure, and the more I do it, the more it becomes comfortable, and then the more it becomes comfortable to then make the appropriate adjustments to better myself for meeting that situation again.
Yeah, and that's why I think as well it can be valuable to have experienced loss before you go into the UFC, because
Mm-hmm.
if you're going into the UFC undefeated, of course you're going to take that unbeaten record if you can. But if the first time you're experiencing that is when you stepped up, I think it must be more of a question mark. Like, am I good enough? Maybe it's because I can't hang at this level. Whereas that you've come back from adversity before, you've come back from injuries before, you've come back from losses before, and you come back better and stronger.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely agree that those were very valuable experience. And as well, I believe to be Roy Jones Jr. actually said this. He said that you almost have to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder to be able to compete at the highest level. And I think for the longest time, when I had those two losses earlier on in my career, I had a chip on my shoulder, because no one believed in me at that point. They thought, well, I had an injury afterwards, been out for a long time. No one really cared or thought that there was going to be anything made of me. And then finally I get into the UFC, and then everyone turns around and is like, where did this guy come from? But like I say, it was just me just being quiet, getting on with what I was doing. And like I say, you had to take things from these losses. If you take nothing, you're going to stay exactly where you are. So I've experienced it obviously previous in my career. I've now experienced it again. And I can tell you what, the same thing is going to happen. I'm going to go out on a tear after this, because I feel that the particular things that were highlighted to me from these two fights are things that could make me a world champion. So yeah, this is why, like I say, I'm very excited, obviously, to have this long training camp as well, like a very long time to improve my skill set, to finally go out there and show it out to the world.
Yeah. And he's coming off 2 losses as well. So there's a lot of pressure on you both going into this fight. Do you feel the pressure of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, no one loses three in a row in the UFC and sort of stays there too long. So
Some
I
people
really,
do.
look, I know the importance of this fight. As much as I can hope and pray about, them finding my last performance being, entertaining and they might have saw some, but at the end of the day, the result is the result. It's a loss.
Mm.
So, you know, I've made peace with the thought that, a loss here would not be good for me in terms of, continuing on with the UFC. Obviously, I can put on a good performance as possible. Like I said, it's about the result. But this is why I'm doing everything in my power and within my training and the mental side and everything in order to go out there and just be the true Baltic gladiator. Do you know what I mean? Just to go out there and throw out my best techniques and put it all together and do it the right way. Paul Craig was in a similar position as well in his early, and then he got like a last minute triangle against Ankalaev. So like that even seeing stuff like that gives me motivation as
Yeah.
well. So I feel the pressure, but at the same time, through the experiences previously and stuff like that, I just embrace it. I love to embrace now. As Denison, actually a very good friend of mine, and was coaching me for a long time and still does as well. He told me, like a lot of times, he said, "Listen, when your back is up against the wall, you perform at your best." So that really sticks and resonates with me. That my back is up against the wall, but this is where I can show out. You know what I mean? The fight or flight. I will never be taking flight. I'm there to fight. So yeah, it's as crazy like even just for both of us, for Khalil and for myself, it's just going to bring out the most entertaining fight because both have got a lot, a lot to lose, and they want to win. So I mean, you can't ask for a better matchup than that. So
Yeah.
definitely, I'm excited for it.
Paul Craig's a great example as well because he's in your weight class. He kept being thrown undefeated fighters that just like seemed
Mm-mm-mm.
awful on paper, and he did have a bit of a rough time of it at times. And then you see a performance like a couple of weekends ago where he's taking Hill and just like pulling guard. I was like, what is he doing? Pulling guard at the
I
beginning
know,
of this fight. Yeah.
madness, and
Shut up. He
yeah,
knows what he's doing, covers.
yeah. I mean, do you know what? And it's funny because he said the whole time, like he said that I think he mentioned in an interview beforehand that he was gonna pull guard or that he was gonna try and get him on the floor, and I'm like, wow, this is. But again, it comes from confidence in his abilities. He's so
Mm,
confident of how good he is on the floor, and obviously he's proven that on countless occasions against UFC competition. So he knows, like, listen, I'm going to take him where this guy's the weakest. So even strategically, that was an amazing move on his part because obviously he knows how dangerous Hill is as a
yeah.
striker. So yeah, and I think it was amazing to see. I mean, just like me and Jimmy, we went and had a beer afterwards and had a chat, and were able to talk on a level outside of competition. I thought it was very nice that Hill and Craig were also able to go out on a night out on the town and spend some time together. So it just shows you that although there's the heat and the ferocity and aggression of a fight, there is that side outside of it that we are just normal people, just human beings, and at the end of the day it just shows that level of respect. And I think leading up to fights, obviously it's very entertaining, and I think that's
Yeah.
definitely a part of the game. But to see that there is still that respect, that you don't have, like I don't think you necessarily have to keep on like showing all respect, like even, but look, as long as it's shown at some point, like especially that after the fight, I thought that was amazing. And
Yeah.
it definitely shows you that those two guys are very good people. So yeah.
two other people that I've been talking about recently with other guests who I just find massive inspirations are Jan Blachowicz and
Mm-mm-mm.
Brandon Moreno. And I think you might have posted one of them on your
Yeah, it was
story or
Brandon.
something. Yeah, like
Mm-mm.
just when you look at their records and when you look at the stuff, like Brandon was even cut from the UFC and come back and just gone on a tear, and now he's the champ. Like that must be inspirational. And again, Jan's in your weight class. Like he was 2-4 in his first 6 UFC fights.
Yeah, and it's the same situation. He won one, lost two, and then won two, then lost again, and then yeah, he just kept on battling through. But see, this is the other thing that Jan was very open about. He had his move to American Top Team, but then he decided to come back, and that decision to actually come back to his roots to Poland paid dividends for him. That's where he actually put on his best performances. So
Yeah.
again, it's about finding the things that are going to bring the best out of yourself to be able to put everything together the best way. So clearly going over to America just wasn't the right fit for him. It may be the right fit for other people, just not for him personally. And then when he was able to sort of figure that out, he then, went on a tear and everything just fit together perfectly. And then, yeah, so that already I find inspiring that, that you can just, you can, like, especially us homegrown talent from the UK, we can train here, or have our training partners, have a great team behind us, and go out there and perform at the highest level. You don't need to actually travel out there. Although, yeah, there's definitely benefits to it, but you don't actually need to go out there. Here, we have everything needed to go out and perform and succeed. And Brandon Moreno is actually under the same management as me, so that's it was amazing to see as well, like him celebrating with my manager after the fight and everything, and the amount of stuff that they had been through together through his career,
Yeah.
him being on the Ultimate Fighter, the lowest seed, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's extremely inspirational. It just shows you that through hard work, dedication, perseverance, and I don't know, like I'm actually reading this book. I really recommend it to anyone. It's called Winning by Tim Grover. He was Michael Jordan's coach, and he talks a lot about, like, winning has no loyalty to anyone. But like it can pick you up one day, and then the other day can drop you off and go with someone else. But these are things that you just sort of, again, just have to accept, work on what you need to do, try and make everything right, do it, because they even said you could do everything right and still lose. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's that grind to keep pushing, to keep going, to keep pushing the envelope, to keep knocking that door down. Every time you get knocked down a step, come back up again. And that's when that resilience and relentless attitude is what ends up paying off. And clearly that is shown from example from Jan, from Brandon, and I'm definitely looking to go and make that similar story for myself.
Yeah, I do love in MMA that, like, apart from Khabib, it's very unlikely that you're going to go your whole career undefeated. It's just there's so many different ways to win a fight, and there's so many different things that can happen. There's so many different ways to get injured in a fight, just
Yeah.
it's. I don't think people outside of the sport realize how difficult it is if you're fighting the top guys, which fighting in the UFC is, how impossible it is to stay undefeated. So I love to have these kind of inspirational, like, role
Mm-mm-mm.
models that just show that it's,
Yeah.
what can be achieved, and like just people who've not given up, and who would have thought that Jan would be in this position, and lucky he found that hangman rope.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, yeah, and he's an amazing character as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, everything just plays into it. He's an amazing character. Like, obviously the UFC like him. He puts on great performances, and obviously he feels very happy. And I think that's another thing. You've got to be really happy as well within your training camp and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just amazing to see such an amazing character also win the belt. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and
So
and then beat Izzy afterwards as well. I think like that was There was a lot of people who thought that Izzy was going to win that fight, but
Yeah, I think a lot of people wrote him off because obviously Izzy's striking style is so good. But yeah, look, Yan uses wrestling and obviously a weight class above that also played another advantage. And it just shows you Yan's striking's, he's no slouch in that department either. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? So yeah, it's awesome to see those things. Like I say, it's just extremely inspiring for myself and obviously for loads of people out there. And I that is one thing that I hope to do for people as well, is to be an inspiration. And that's why I'm working my ass off to go and prove my supporters right, so that I'm able to, like I say, help the younger generation to also go and do their thing and come up and
yeah.
rise up and do the same also.
Daniel Edwards says only nice fighters allowed underneath that management. I guess is that your manager?
Yeah, no, it's so I'm not sure, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, it's funny because uh, it was literally I think the how the even the way that I managed to get with my manager was I was in Jackson's training, and this was when I was 4-0, and then
You're
but
with
this just
Iridium, aren't you?
that's
Is it
correct,
Iridium?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why it just shows you how from the heart that guy is a really good guy. Like that manager really does care. He's got so many fighters on his roster, but he gives the same amount of care to each and every one of us. Doesn't matter whether you're the top or the bottom, or trying to make your way. He gives everyone the same amount of attention. Does it, and yeah, like I say, and that's obviously something that my parents noticed straight away, and that's why we signed with them. But yeah, but funny story, like I was in Jackson's, and then the wrestling coach said, "Listen, my one of my fighters is under this mat. Have you got a manager?" And I thought, "Well, I haven't really got my manager's my dad at the minute." And he goes, "Oh, well, at some point you're probably going to need this." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I talked to him. Already, we had a good conversation. Very nice guy and everything, and we sort of just kept in contact. Obviously, things after that point didn't go so well. 2 losses and a load of, but he had been watching the whole time. You know what I mean? Like he had been sort of following the whole thing, and that's already another thing that I valued, is that he's like, okay, maybe there's something about this kid. And then obviously I went on a run, and it was funny because he messaged me just before I won the Cage Warriors title and said, give me a chat, once the fight's over. And that he gave me even more inspiration to go out there and do my things. And then yeah, as soon as we talked afterwards, that was it. He is an amazing guy. Just the whole team, the whole team, like he's got a whole team of amazing people behind him. And that's why I truly believe they are the best management agency in the game right now. And yeah, obviously there's amazing fighters within the camp, so I'm happy to be a part of that team.
I'm glad you're getting looked after. You spoke a bit about your training earlier and how hard you're working for this fight. Earlier in the year, I think after your last fight, you were training at the UFC PI. What was that like?
Oh, it was surreal. Surreal would be the best way to describe it, because like so many people have sort of been here, like some of the top athletes, like like legends, like Conor McGregor was working out there. It was just mad just to be in that whole thing. Like you have limousines with your name on it, picking you up, taking you places, and organize, everything's already organized for you. But yeah, the space was amazing. The facilities are like top notch. Like anytime you need to see a physio or anything, like they really like take care of their fighters really well. Like yeah, the gym itself, it's like you see it on videos, you see it on things, and you're always thinking, oh god, I would love to be there one day. I'd love to be training there and or having a fight coming up close and be able to be out there. So when I finally got out there and you're walking up those famous steps of the PI into the gym, you're like, bloody hell, like first thing I was thinking, like, damn, this place is sick. I mean, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got like the cage, the ring, all this high tech equipment, and everything. I was like, damn, this is nice. And then obviously it hits you like, like damn, like this is what UFC fighters get to enjoy, like these sort of things. Like I said, this is why they're the best promotion in the world, because they take care of their fighters, and it's open to all the fighters whenever they need it. So
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Did you get to go on that punching machine that's like measures how?
Oh, do you know what? It's funny. Nah, I haven't been able to. I think it's probably in a room like somewhere, but I wasn't able to. I don't know if that machine's even in the Apex, but the Apex itself as well is an amazing facility. Like not only like even watching on TV, like all the people fighting at the Apex, and then you're in the Vegas, and you're in those like massive halls, like with the mats on the floor, and then you're going out into the actual Apex arena was a treat in itself. And I haven't
Yeah.
even been in all the other like training rooms that they've got in there and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, look, they really wanted to make this sport big, and obviously building these facilities has definitely helped them to push that forward even more, to make MMA an even bigger sport. Because, like I said, all the athletes have access to this, and But yeah, hey, but listen, another reason why I didn't want to obviously hit the punching bag was I was afraid that I was going to break it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
listen,
naturally, yeah.
people don't know about the natural punching powers, so
Yeah,
But then
yeah, we
again,
wouldn't want to break the machine.
if Francis Ngannou couldn't break it, I doubt that I'm going to break it. So I'll give him that one.
I wanted to know, like, what your measurement was next to his.
Oh my! Do you know what? One thing I will say, that is a big dude. Like, because he was like literally. I saw him walking across, and I'm like, this guy's massive. I'm like, heavyweight. Whoo! I'm glad I'm a light heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? Because that guy is an absolute unit. Like, when I mean there's like muscles coming out of every single which way, that's him. And like, obviously, like I stood right next to him. It's like he's it's funny because he's muscular, but he's still lean. He's not like
Yeah,
too bulky or huge. He's still lean, but he's just an absolute unit. It's what you'd expect an NFL like running back to look like. So yeah, that was quite an experience in itself. So
now you
yeah.
know how most people feel when they meet you. Like, you meeting Ngannou is the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm 5'2". For me, that's what meeting a lot of people's like.
Oh, I guess when you put it that way, it definitely puts it into perspective. I'm glad that you think I'm an extremely big and muscular, running back looking kind of guy, Katie. That's exactly the type of compliment I was looking for, obviously.
So that was fighting at the Apex. You fought at Fight Island, and now we're all really, really, really hoping that this one is going to be in London, or at least I'd happily settle for anywhere in the UK with
Yeah.
fans. That would be amazing. What would it mean to you to get to fight in front of a home crowd?
Oh, like it would mean absolutely. I mean, I've been visualizing this for a long time, like a long time. Obviously, I didn't expect it. Like, I would think that maybe, like, it would have been a fight against, like maybe a rematch with Crew, or like something else, or some big fight or whatever. Fighting on the main event. But the fact
Yeah,
that I was always visualizing still walking out in front of a hometown crowd with the British and Lithuanian flags out behind me, gigs talking the hardest, blasting out in the arena and everything, and uh, having that hometown support and that energy. And listen, if it's meant to be, it's sort of it's meant to be. Obviously, with COVID and everything, that they're still having to. But look, if it all goes to plan and we all fight in London, I mean, that would be absolutely sick. Like, I, like I said, I've been dreaming about this moment for ages. Just to be able to fight in front of your hometown crowd and have people there supporting you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And obviously, I've not fought in front of a crowd for the UFC yet. I've fought in front of crowds for Cage Warriors and
yeah,
stuff like that, but I've not actually fought in front of an arena, like
yeah,
20,000 people. Like, that's a like, for me, that doesn't scare me at all. That just excites me. I'm like,
yeah,
oh my god, I can't wait to feel all of that. And like I said, just having the flag out there, and it's like, obviously the name doesn't sound British whatsoever, but then as soon as I talk on the mic, obviously everything gets seen. But but yeah, it would be great to be able to represent. And yeah, I think that's every person's dream, like, especially like for, like, for Dalby in Copenhagen, or any
yeah,
of those, Scandinavian fighters. That's a big deal. It's the same here. Like,
yeah,
like, for me, that would mean, a hell of a lot. As much as, obviously being born in Lithuania, and I'll still represent it to the highest. But obviously, when you've been living here most of your life, it's nice to have that support from the crowd from here as well. So it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. So keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, things will go to plan.
There's so many people who've made their UFC debuts in the last, like, well, since we've been in lockdown. People who I never would have imagined I wouldn't be there for their first UFC fight. There's just too many of you to mention, but you, Corey, Reese McKee, like you would just, I would have gone anywhere in the world to watch you guys, like in your first UFC fight, and I would love for you to have that hometown crowd, and all the love that we wanted to give you for your first 3 fights.
And no doubt, and trust me, that energy that you lot will give me, it will just bring out, like I said, it will just bring out the best performance in me. Because it's one thing fighting in front of a couple of commentators and arena staff, but when you're out there like in front of your hometown crowd, trust me, Katie, I would put on a show for you lot. So yeah, like I say, I hope everything goes to plan and it all works out that we're able to do that.
Yeah, there's not that many fights announced on your card at the moment. There's obviously Darren Till and Lerone, and I think there's one other, but it's going to be
Yeah,
amazing. I just really hope it happens. And
yeah.
I saw you training down at Titan the other day. How are those guys doing? How's Luke Trainer? Shout out to
Luke,
Luke.
Luke, the big man. No, it's been absolutely amazing. They're all an absolutely amazing bunch of guys. That
Some big
just
dudes down there for you.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, literally, it's one thing when you walk into the gym and you're the biggest guy, but here I definitely feel like I'm the small. I'm definitely the shortest guy. Each one of them are definitely at least 6'4" or above, and I'm like, bloody hell, I'm 6'. I thought I was tall out here. Next thing you know, you got you guys like making me feel short. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, they're an extremely amazing group of guys. They definitely is a family orientated type feel down there. The coach Mickey is absolutely amazing as well. Gels very well, obviously, with my dad and everything, and yeah, like all the guys are young and hungry.
Yeah.
They're predominantly in their 20s. They're all chasing the same dream, and it's cool to also be able to exchange ideas and exchange techniques and just exchange like that good hype and energy. Like especially the other day, we just had a really hard wrestling session, and we're out here, messing about with kicks, and it's good to have that camaraderie. I think you definitely need it in fighting. It's such a stressful thing in itself. It's such a hard thing to go through on your body, on your mind, and to be
Yeah.
able to have that where you're able to chill and chat with the lads and joke around with them and be open and honest, and that's a big deal. And I definitely feel like I connect very well with everyone at Team Titan, and yeah, it's been amazing training with them so far. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you look at everybody who is successful, they've all got that kind of
Mm-mm.
team aspect around them. And like you say, it's really important to be able to have a laugh and break the stress of the situation, because a training camp is stressful.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when it's time to train, this is what I like. This is what I really liked is that when it's time to train, it's business. It's
Yeah,
not. It's no fucking about. Excuse my French. But uh, but then afterwards, of course, we can joke. Or before or after, we can joke, laugh. But as soon as the time is set, to go out and do your thing, to go and train, to do your drills, it's time to go, and everyone's very focused. I like that. There's definitely a focus and an intensity which just radiates around the room. Everyone's filled with that same intensity, and that is definitely something I enjoyed. And then yeah, after training, to be able to have those jokes and laughs and stuff like that when you've just literally had an hour and a half, 2 hour hard wrestling session, and you're able there to still, joke around and joke about and have a good time. It's great. I just love that when it's time to work, it's time to work,
yeah,
and then everything else outside that. So yeah, no, it's been every every place that I've went to train has taken me in with open arms and has given me a hell of a lot.
Mm.
Like I will forever be grateful for all the coaches and all the people that I've crossed paths with in my life, because they have all made me the person I am today, and they've all made me the fighter that I am today. They've given me insane skill sets. They've given me such amazing things that have helped me get to this level. So, you know, what I think wherever you go, you know, you're just trying to improve yourself as a fighter. You're trying to see what helps you to be able to bring your skill sets out the best way possible. So, you know, that's where you have to do certain things. And, you know, like, this is a selfish sport. You've got to go and do those things. So, you know, but I'm so grateful and so lucky to have been in the presence of such amazing coaches over the course of my career. You know, like Danny Batten, Raymond Paul, Lucas Lepianka, Lucas Klinger, who's in my corner, who's my training partner. You know, Denison Sutherland, my dad. You know, now Mickey. So I you know, Hodger Gracie. I've been in the presence of some
I like
truly.
that he was last there.
There wasn't any particular order, Katie. Come on now, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. But anyway, so, you know, I've met some truly amazing people, some amazing coaches. I've got on so well with every single one of them, and I love them all dearly. And they've all helped me in some way, shape, or form to progress some way again in my career, and help me to build on my skill sets and get to where I am. So I will always be forever grateful. And yeah, just, you know, just with the times and you know, just with schedules and stuff like that, things have to be done in a certain way. And yeah, Titan Fighter was definitely a great fit for me in terms of all of that. And obviously, like I say, giving even me just different looks. Do you know what I mean? Different things that are
Yeah.
able to help me bring out my, like, it's all about bringing out the skill set and putting the pieces together the best way. And you got to slowly put all the pieces of the puzzle together, taking as much knowledge from different, and then just put it all together. So, you know, at different times in your career, you're gonna be able to implement things from somewhere, and then from another point in your career, you may implement things better from somewhere else, and that's just the name of the game. And like I say, I'm truly enjoying this whole martial arts experience, because you meet such amazing people, and like I say, coaches, and you make great relationships, and yeah, that'll be a forever thing. You know, this is a journey. This is a journey at the end of the day, and finding yourself as well is a big part of that. And everywhere I've went and everywhere I've done, I've found myself even more, and I've improved even more, and I've done what is required to be able to get myself to that next level. And yeah, that's all I'm going to keep doing throughout my whole career.
That's such a lovely note to end on, and just like really filled with gratitude and like the martial arts journey.
Mm.
I just want to say we're all so proud of you. Like every time you go out there, you represent us and make us so proud. And I'm absolutely so excited for this fight. I think you're literally going to take the roof off
Mm-mm.
the O2 if it's in London, or wherever. It doesn't matter where it is. Like I think you're gonna have a standout performance, and you know.
I really appreciate it, Katie. Listen, you've always shown me amazing love and amazing support. You've always just, like, really, you give me amazing energy just from how well you speak of me, and like I said, I couldn't be more grateful and appreciative. And you're an amazing person, Katie. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, do you know what I mean? Good energies connect with good energies, and good vibes everywhere. So, like I say, it really means the world to me that you know that you think those things of me. And like I say, I'm also going to make you lot even more proud by going out there and putting on the best performance of my career so far. I've definitely found everything that I need to do to be able to bring the best out of me. And like I say, I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to get out there. And yeah, it's time now to really bite down on my mouthpiece and go out there, be aggressive, and go and take what's mine. I've got an extremely tough task ahead of me. You know, when people would put the name up in front of you, you come off with 2 losses. Oh, do you want to fight Khalil Rountree? You know, most people would think that's a pretty tough fight to take. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm all about taking risk. I'm all about improving myself, and I'm all about believing in myself. So I know what I'm capable of. My teammates know what I'm capable of. My dad knows what I'm capable of. So all that's left to do is go out there and show it. And I can't wait to do that.
Well, I believe as well. I'm 100% on board and behind you. We always are, Modestas. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh,
Is there
no
anything
worries.
else you wanted to say before we go?
Well, I just want to say much love to you, Katie. I really enjoy talking to you every single time. So thank you so much for having me on again. Like honestly, it's great to be able to have friendships with people that you know that you're doing interviews with and you're out in the scene and stuff like that. So it's truly great to be able to be your friend and obviously and do all these interviews. It's amazing. So I thank you for that.
Oh,
Um,
you
a-
too. I love you
and
to bits.
you know, I got to give a big shout out as well, just to everyone that you know that have helped me. You know, I would literally be going on about it too much, but obviously, big shout out to my dad, Titan Fighter, Mickey, all the guys there. Still, you know, massive shout out to BST, Deniston. You know, like I've been saying, all the people that have helped me throughout my whole career and stuff like that. But you know, Fred Zafar, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to him
Love
because
him.
yeah, he's literally one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. He's supported me since, you know, pretty much since he even known about me.
Yeah,
He's always supported me and he's been helping me out in, you know, when he doesn't really need to help me out, and he's always been there for me. So I got to give a massive shout out to him, and
great
also
guy.
Leanne from Distinct Physiotherapy. I've mentioned her a couple of times. Um, when times are when times are tough for her and stuff like that, she'll always find time for me. When you know things are busy or whatever, or I need something or I need something, she's always there. So you know, it really means the world for me that she's continuing to give me such level of attention and care whenever I need it. And obviously, I worked alongside her, you know, previously, but you know, she's done an absolutely amazing job, and I couldn't recommend her anymore. So if you are in the Radlett area, please go check her out because trust me, if I can go from dislocating my knee 3 weeks before a fight and winning, you know, defending a world title, that's one thing to say about how good her physio skills are. So you know, and yeah, it's built an amazing foundation for me throughout my whole career, doing all these crazy things that we do, our wrestling and all sorts. And obviously, since it was Father's Day, we got to give a massive shout out to the pops, to Dad,
Yeah,
because if anyone believes in me, if I don't believe in myself, he will still believe in me. And that has been a big thing for me in my life because anywhere that I face adversity, he's always been there for me. Um, he's always told me, you know, like you're going to get back up and you're going to go back and you're going to show the world what you're capable of. And even when I would doubt myself, he would always be there. And he's actually built more confidence within myself to make me believe in myself. And he literally puts his every ounce of soul and heart into making me the best fighter there is. You can't ask for a better trainer than that. You know, some you know father son relationships in competitive sports sometimes doesn't work out, but here, I mean, I've got to say it's probably the best relationship I could possibly have, and I'm very grateful for that also. So I could go on for days, Katie, about all the people that have meant a lot to me in my life, but obviously we'll be sitting here for about probably 4 hours. But listen, um, much love to you. Like I say, I hope you're doing well and everything. Much love to everyone out there. Much love to all the support. We're gonna go out and we're gonna go and tear this guy's head off. We're gonna do the business.
100%. We're all in your corner. We're all so excited to see you put on a show. Really hope we can be there on the night, but either way, you're going to get it done. Thank
Nice
you
one.
so much.
Nice one. Thank you so much, Katie. Have a lovely evening.
You take care of yourself.
Nice one.